And new at 6, a look at how major changes to SNAP benefits are impacting Alabamians. ABC 3340's Gracie Johnson looks at what's changing now and what could happen in the future.
We're seeing a significant decrease in participation over the last year. We're over 80,000 individuals in Alabama have already lost their benefits due to these changes.
80,000 Alabamians already off SNAP. And Alabama DHR Deputy Commissioner Brandon Hardin says that number is still growing. Hardin says SNAP enrollment in Alabama is now in the mid 600,000 across about 320,000 households. He expects the decline in participation to approach 100,000 people by the end of the fiscal year. One of the changes under the new federal law involves SNAP work requirements. For certain adults subject to those rules, keeping their benefits generally means working or participating in an approved work program for at least 80 hours a month, unless they qualify for an exemption. The new law expands who is subject to those requirements, but it's not just changing who qualifies. It's also shifting more of the cost of running SNAP to the states. Through this fiscal year, the federal government pays half of those administrative costs. Beginning in fiscal year 2027, that federal share drops to 25%, leaving states responsible for 75%. Hardin says Alabama lawmakers have already allocated additional money.
The legislature did allocate the funding for that. It's at least over $35 million in additional costs for this fiscal year.
But there's another, potentially much larger cost: how much Alabama could eventually have to pay towards SNAP benefits themselves. Alabama Arise estimates that could be about $174 million.
With this state cost shift, we are going to take on about $174 million to the state budget, and the state will be responsible for covering that rather than the federal government.
How much the state actually has to pay will depend on Alabama's payment error rate.
The error rate is a measure of underpayments or overpayments made by the Department of Human Resources.
USDA says the rate measures how accurately a state determines SNAP eligibility and benefit amounts. It includes both overpayments and underpayments, and USDA says an error rate is not the same as a fraud rate. Alabama's latest rate for fiscal year 2025 is 9.52%, according to the USDA. Under the new law, 6% becomes a key number. DHR says it's working to get Alabama below it.
We're working diligently with what we got in front of us. We got a long road ahead, and I just want to say that we're going to continue to try to drive that error rate below 6%, where we can make sure that these individuals get the SNAP benefits that they need.
Beginning in fiscal year 2028, states with an error rate below 6% would pay none of the cost of SNAP benefits. At 6% or higher, states would begin paying a share, and the higher the error rate, the larger that share could be. For that first year, states can choose to use their fiscal year 2025 or 2026 error rate to determine their share. Wood says the impact could also reach beyond the people receiving SNAP to the stores where those benefits are spent.
We could see as many as 5,000 retailers across the state lose essential revenue, which means that stores could close. And when we see that supply of stores go down and the demand remains the same, we will all be paying more for groceries.
That 5,000 retailer figure is Alabama Arise's projection. And next week, food bank leaders from across Alabama and the Alabama Grocers Association plan to address the impact of SNAP changes. They'll hold a press conference Wednesday in Bessemer to discuss updated data on food insecurity and what they say the SNAP cuts could mean for Alabamians facing hunger. For DHR, the focus now is implementing the new federal requirements and getting Alabama's error rate down. Gracie Johnson, ABC 3340's I-Team.